Now, New York's #1 news. Channel 7 Eyewitness News this morning.
Developing this morning, a woman is in critical condition after her car crashed into a furniture store. We are live with new video of the moments people rushed in to help.
New year, new Congress. Democrats taking control of the House and taking on the government shutdown, what local lawmakers are vowing to do.
But first, breaking news in Brooklyn, where a cement truck slammed into a car on the BQE.
John Del Giorno live in Newscast 7 with more. John?
Ken and Shirlene, good morning. This is a commuter alert for those of you that make your trip from Queens down into Brooklyn via the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway. I'll show you the traffic in a second. First, let me show you what the issue is. We've got a cement mixer in the center lane on the BQE just a few minutes ago. This truck collided with a car, and they were T-boned here in the center of the BQE. Now, as you look at this picture closely, it looks like that cement truck is slowly getting itself out of the roadway. That's the good news here, because for the last 30 minutes, we've had only the left lane open. Let me pull the shot back. We'll show you exactly where this is just before the BQE and the Williamsburg Bridge delays all the way back into Queens. We're live over the BQE. John Del Giorno, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, John. Weather and traffic together. Here we go.
Morning, 3 people are hurt in a nasty crash. An out-of-control car slamming into a furniture store. Eyewitnesses rushed in to help the driver and her 2 passengers. Eyewitness News reporter Kimberly Richardson is live with the new video. She is in Ozone Park with more. Kim?
Well, Shirlene, David Garcia was on his lunch break, and he happened to be walking on Liberty Avenue at 122nd Street when he spotted that vehicle was partially on fire. Also, people using fire extinguishers to put the flames out and try and get the people out who were trapped inside. Take a look. That Honda Accord is still here. It has extensive front end damage. Also here, investigators who are trying to figure out why it ended up where you see it. Take a look at David's cell phone video. It was right around 3 this morning when, for some reason, a 25-year-old woman who was behind the wheel of the car lost control, jumped the curb, crossed the sidewalk, and ended up slamming into the store. It was closed, and the steel gates were pulled down, which prevented the car from going through the business. It appears the car was heading down 122nd Street, which dead ends at Liberty. There were 3 people in the car. Again, that 25-year-old female driver who was in critical condition at nearby Jamaica Hospital at this hour. There were 2 passengers, a 41-year-old man and a 22-year-old woman who were not seriously hurt. Now, people who heard the crash tell me they dropped everything and rushed to help.
It was a bang. We ran outside to see what happened. We saw the car across the street. We ran to give a hand and try everybody out, but it was stuck. There was a bit of flame starting up, so we ran to get a fire extinguisher to out it, and then the cops came.
And back here live, here's that Honda Accord. It's a good thing those guys ran to help. There were several of them because, again, the car was partially on fire, and there was one woman inside yelling her foot was stuck and they couldn't get out, and the driver, again, was in critical condition. Again, it's not clear at this hour why that a car ended up here. We will be here and try and find out as much as we can. For now, we're live in Queens. Kimberly Richardson, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Kim, thank you. It's 6:33, and right now police are on the hunt for a rapist in Queens, and they're hoping somebody recognizes the suspect's tattoos. Police want to question 24-year-old George Prasad. They say a 40-year-old woman was forced into a secluded area in South Ozone Park Sunday where she was raped. Prasad has a nautical star in his right hand, tattooed knuckles, and a large tattoo across his chest that says, "Only the strong survive." 6:34 this morning, a 14-year-old boy is recovering after he was stabbed by a classmate inside a school in the Bronx. Police say that classmate is a 13-year-old girl who stabbed the boy in the shoulder inside the cafeteria at Hostos Lincoln Academy of Science in the South Bronx. The boy was taken to the hospital. He is expected to be okay. The girl taken into custody. Reports say the dispute started over social media.
Police released new video of a man accused of shooting a man in the head in Brooklyn. Investigators say the gunman shot the 34-year-old on Pitkin Avenue in East New York early Sunday morning. Police say the suspect got away in a white SUV. The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition.
Turning now to the government shutdown, now in its 13th day, the budget stalemate spilling into the new year, and today a new Congress will be sworn in. Many of the fresh faces right from here in the tri-state. Eyewitness News reporter Derek Waller is here with more on the challenges ahead for this new Congress. Derek?
Well, Ken, Democrats taking control, including a number of newly elected members from our area, vowing not to take a salary while the partial shutdown continues. That includes Mikey Sherrill of New Jersey, who won a seat formerly held by a Republican. She tweeted, "I came here to govern, not to engage in partisan politics at the expense of hardworking Americans." Day 13 of that shutdown, and in D.C., the trash cans are overflowing on Capitol Hill. National parks are only running with essential staff. There's no end in sight. The holdup is over border wall funding. The president even rejecting a compromise proposed by his own vice president to at least partially fund the wall.
We're asking for 5.6, and somebody said 2.5. Now look, this is national security we're talking about.
They are now feeling the heat. It is not helping the president. It is not helping the Republicans to be the owners of this shutdown.
Well, House Democrats say they intend to pass bills right away to reopen part of the government, but that bill likely won't get past the Senate, which is still in Republican hands. Ken?
Thank you very much, Derek. And stay with Eyewitness News and ABC News for continuing coverage of the power shift in Congress as the partial shutdown continues. 6:36 is our time, and happening today, local leaders will be announcing alternate routes for subway riders in Washington Heights ahead of major renovations. Beginning Saturday, the 168th Street station on the 1 line will be shutting down for upgrades and elevator repairs. The 181st Street station on the A line will be next, followed by 3 more stations on the 1 line. The whole project expected to be completed by February of 2022. This morning, Transit Chief Andy Byford will meet with local lawmakers to discuss the project.
This morning, City Controller Scott Stringer will call for a total accounting of the Fair Fares program that was supposed to start on New Year's Day. Back in June, the city promised the half-price MetroCard program for low-income residents would begin January 1st. Mayor de Blasio's spokesperson took to Twitter saying, quote, "This program hasn't started yet and the eligibility standards haven't been released." The mayor insisting the city wants to get it right from the beginning.
Everything I said, I meant, and everything I said we followed through on, and it is January 2nd, and I'm telling you, in a few days we'll be launching, and I think New Yorkers understand that if you have an ideal goal and it takes a few extra days.
Mayor de Blasio would not say whether the discounts would only apply to weekly and monthly Metro cards.
6:37 is our time, and New Yorkers rang in the new year with a lot of trash. The city's sanitation department says hundreds of workers cleaned up more than 65 tons of debris from Times Square on New Year's Day. That's 9 tons more than last year, but it could be partly due to the torrential rain that soaked that debris, making it actually a lot heavier.
Ugh,
nothing like having to sweep all that stuff that's glued to the street. That is unbelievable. 65
Look at that.
tons of debris. Thank goodness for New York's strongest.
Absolutely.
They are
Absolutely.
so good.
You're never more than 7 minutes away from weather and traffic.
Meteorologist Amy Freeze, live outside our studios on the Upper West Side. Hey, Amy. Thank you very much, Debbie. It is now 6:40. El Chapo heading back to court. We have details on the key witness expected to take the stand today.
And curbing gun violence in New York State, a $3 million initiative focusing on several neighborhoods in our area.
Plus, the flight from Asia to New York that usually costs more than some cars, going on sale for just a few $100. What the airline is saying about the pricey mistake that they made and whether they will honor the cheap tickets. 6:43 happening today. The trial of accused Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman resumes in Brooklyn after the holiday break. Prosecutors are expected to call on a witness who they say was Guzman's logistics mastermind before his arrest. He was also responsible for supervising the unloading of cocaine ships off the Mexican coast that was smuggled onto Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York.
New this morning, Governor Cuomo is pledging $3 million in state funding to combat gun violence. It will be split between 7 not-for-profit groups across the state. The money will fund New York's street outreach program called SNUG. The program works with high-risk youth and connects them to services and programs. It also provides help for victims of gun violence.
6:43, police say the driver behind a deadly crash in Tribeca was going 65 miles an hour over the speed limit. Sherman Harrison was arraigned yesterday. Authorities say that he was going about 100 miles an hour in total on West Street Saturday when he started a chain reaction crash. That crash killed 57-year-old Amy Phillipson. She was simply on her way to work. The speed limit on West Street, by the way, 35, and he was doing 100. Police say Harrison had blown through 3 red lights before the crash and had a gun and 17 rounds of ammo in his car. 6:44, and this morning the medical examiner is waiting for test results to determine if a Brooklyn child's death was caused by an allergic reaction to the smell of cooking fish. 11-year-old Cameron Jean-Pierre passed out while his family was making dinner in Canarsie New Year's Day. He did have a known allergy to seafood. Allergy experts say proteins could be released into the air, harming those with severe fish allergies.
A New Year's surprise for some travelers, a round-trip business class ticket from Vietnam to New York on Cathay Pacific. It usually costs $16,000 for a round-trip flight. Just $675 for this mistake. The Hong Kong-based airline blames the New Year's Day mistake on a computer glitch. The first and business class seats between Asia and North America went for rock-bottom prices as a result. Several thousand people jumped on the deal. Very lucky folks. And the good news is the airline admitted to the mistake on Twitter and says it will honor the tickets sold.
No. Can I just say
somebody
here?
who just came back from...
Yes, I just came back. Vietnam.
Oh,
JFK.
no.
I didn't get one of them tickets.
I know you
just saying.
Robin.
Oh, wow.
But I'm
Isn't
happy for
that the
those.
worst?
I'm happy. It's a new me. The Zen me. I'm happy for those that were able to get those tickets. Thank you, one and all. Coming up here on GMA, true story, coming up here on GMA, a new Congress about to take over Washington just hours from now as a government shutdown hits day 13. Both the president and the Democrats doubling down on their demands. We're live in Washington with the latest. Also this morning, new developments in that case of that missing Colorado mom. Her fiance, we know, facing charges, but now there's a 32-year-old nurse in Idaho who is also being investigated. And the promising new drug for millions of Americans who suffer from alopecia, the autoimmune disease that causes sudden hair loss. We're going to show you the incredible results for one man and how it changed his life. And half their size, two moms making incredible transformations to get healthy for their children, dropping more than 100 pounds each. Wow. How they did it, they are here live. That's all coming up here on GMA.
Fascinating.
I'm going to start oming.
Yeah.
Namaste. That's the goal for 2019.
Serene in 2019, baby.
There you go.
My life is serene in 2019.
All right. Thank you very much, Rob.
Thank you both.
6:46, meteorologist A.B. Freeze in for Bill with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. All right, thank you very much. It is 6:49. A paraglider flies into a frightening situation with a dust devil.
And Coachella unveils its lineup. Hear who's headlining this year's festival. Stay with us.
Your Tri-State Ford dealers thank you for helping protect our children.
6:52, welcome back. Caught on camera, a dust devil launches an experienced paraglider on a terrifying ride in Australia. Check this out. The paraglider was preparing for the flight when a strong wind gust yanked him into the air by his parachute. Lucky he wasn't killed. His friends watched in horror as they tried to grab mats that were being swept up by that dust devil. The man swirled around, as you can see there, for a few seconds before finally regaining control. The good news is nobody got hurt. Organizers have announced the headliners for the 2019 Coachella Music Festival in California. The top acts include Childish Gambino, Ariana Grande, and Tame Impala, excuse me, I'm misreading. The event will take place the weekends of April 13th and April 20th. Other performers include DJ Snake, Diplo, and Weezer. Music fans can start buying tickets tomorrow. We have a complete list on lineup on our website, ABC7NY.
New this morning, you can add another accomplishment for former President Obama, scoring a spot on the Billboard Hot R&B Songs chart. Obama debuted on this week's list for his contribution to the new gospel-inspired arrangement of Lin-Manuel Miranda's Hamilton hit, One Last Time. The song landed at number 22 on the Billboard list. Miranda released the track last month, just before the holidays.
Time now 6:54. We are staying on top of a developing story in Queens. An out-of-control car slamming into a store. What we're learning about the people hurt. That's coming up next in a live report.
I'm Kimberly Richardson in Ozone Park, Queens, where at this hour, a 25-year-old woman is in critical condition at the hospital. Take a look. That's the Honda she was driving. Two other people were inside and were not seriously injured. That car is right where it crashed about 4 hours ago. Cell phone video captured the chaotic seconds after the crash as people rushed to help those trapped inside and used fire extinguishers to put out the fire, which was burning. It's not clear why the driver just ended up on Liberty and 122nd Street. There's extensive front end damage to the car, but again, at this hour, 25-year-old woman in critical condition at nearby Jamaica Hospital. For now, we're live in Queens. Kimberly Richardson, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Kim, thank you. Police released new video of a suspect accused of shooting a man in the head in Brooklyn. Investigators say the gunman shot the 34-year-old on Pitkin Avenue in East New York early Sunday morning. Police say the suspect got away in a white SUV. The victim was taken to the hospital in critical condition.
Happening today, city leaders in Newark are expected to announce that overall crime was down by about 15% last year. Newark also saw the lowest number of homicides in a decade. The city, however, did see an uptick in stabbings. The exact numbers will be released later today.
Also today, local leaders will be announcing alternative routes for subway riders in Washington Heights ahead of major renovations. Beginning Saturday, the 168th Street station on the 1 line will be shutting down for upgrades and elevator repairs. 4 more stations in the area will follow. This morning, Transit Chief Andy Byford will meet with local lawmakers to discuss the projects.
Good morning, I'm Debbie Duhame. We're going to go up to Newscopter 7 with John Del Giorno, show you a picture of the Cross Bronx. Look at the volume here on the Cross Bronx. Bumper-to-bumper traffic westbound, heading right out toward Jerome Avenue. It's an accident blocking the right lane, so expect delays in both directions, but westbound, bumper-to-bumper into Jerome with an accident being cleared. As we highlight the maps, you're going to have to watch out for that problem. Also problems on the westbound BQE at Meeker Morgan with an accident still being cleared, and delays on the westbound belt into Coney Island Ave with a collision. Alternate side in effect. Let's check the forecast. Hi, Amy.
Hello, good morning to you, Debbie. Temperatures are pretty easy to take in the mid-40s right now, even warmer than what we were yesterday. And we're looking for upper 40s later this afternoon. So planning this day, a little bit of sun peeking through late in the afternoon. Until then, clouds will come and go, high 47. And the AccuWeather 7-day forecast, looking at these numbers here, it'll take us into the upper 40s again tomorrow under dry skies. And then it turns a little wet on the weekend, especially for Saturday. Good showers on both ends of the day. Drier skies prevail on Sunday with 48 degrees expected. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 40s as we head into the middle of next week. And finally, it gets cold, maybe even some flurries by Wednesday of next week. Ken, Shirley.
All right, thank you very much, Ed. And that is the news for now. I'm Ken Rosado.
And I'm Shirlene Ellicott. We'll have more local news, traffic and weather coming up in about 25 minutes or so. Good Morning America is coming up next. Have a great day out there.